Hello, team. Happy Friday.
Hello, hello. I was just ranting and raving, and I was muted. So none of you heard what I just said.
No.
But no, I was saying it's great to be here on a Friday before Easter. Hope everybody is has some fun, family-filled plans for the weekend. And if you are here, go ahead and share out the room. Let's get as many people in here as we can. And still waiting on Rob. And I wonder, Rob mentioned he might have some connectivity issues due to a thunderstorm. So we'll see.
Yeah, I spoke to him not so long ago, so he should be fine.
There he is.
There you go. Speak of the devil.
But we'll get him up here, and I think we've got a couple things that we want to go over, and then at the end, if there are questions, please don't hesitate to raise your hand. But Rob, welcome.
Okay, now I can say thanks and hola and all that. I was talking to nobody, I guess.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was ranting and I was muted. But let's get this thing started. I think, where am I? For those listening now, you probably know this, but if you don't know this and you're listening after the fact, the Divi project was created back in 2017, and our blockchain has been running smoothly and successfully since September of 2018. And the goal of the Divi project is to make crypto easy and accessible for everyone, everywhere. And our most notable, I think, features, we've got the Divi wallet, which is a self-custodial mobile wallet. And we also have been working on Divi DeFi, which is something that you can go over and provide liquidity, do some swaps, DiviDeFi.com. And so that's the quick in a nutshell summary. And with that, I think we want to kick things off with a discussion about masternodes, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Except I don't see voice with us.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll do it.
I will ping him.
Yeah, that's okay. I guess I'll start with it. And when he comes in, he will smooth over everything I say, his nice little voice speak. I also listened to myself last time, and I have noted that I speak way too fast and perhaps not loud enough. So I will try to control both of those appropriately. A few weeks ago, with the tech team, I wrote a 3-part series talking about the progress and our view on the code base that we had regarding our blockchain and the improvements that we've been making over the last, actually, it's been like 2 or 3 years, we've been making progress on cleaning up the code. So there is a concept called technical debt, which I think is super important to understand for all, not just crypto, but like for all projects, which is as a project ages, and worse as it forks into other projects. As most people know, Divi was originally a fork from Pivx, which was a fork from Dash, which was a fork from Bitcoin. What happens is there's a cumulative effect of maybe different forms of coding methods or different approaches and so forth. And the code base itself loads up with technical debt, like stuff that needs to be cleaned up and fixed. And this marches towards a less and less bearable, maintainable code. And at some point, you got to clean up that debt. And that's what we've been doing for 2 years, in particular the last 6 months, cleaning up the technical debt, not only by the set of forks in the code, but also our own attempts to work with that code base and improve it. So what we have now is very close. We're approaching the completion of that. I don't know if that job ever ends, but we've definitely made huge progress on that. And part of doing that is really becoming intimately familiar with choices that have been made throughout the time of the different cycles and evolutionary parts of the change of the code over time. And one of the things that we noticed was, like, we started out with a concept that was similar to Pivx's concept of masternodes, that we would use masternodes as a governance tool. So masternode owners would be, responsible for, guiding the development of the blockchain, or making choices about, where the community goes, or wherever, or lead the foundation. That was the idea originally with the ownership of masternodes. Throughout the time of Divi, we never implemented that. And also during that time, we noticed that the function of the masternodes themselves were preventing us from improving in other areas and making, so right now we developed the Vault, the Vault technology, and the things that we want to go forward with, which is these ideas of subscriptions, these ideas of down at the core level, not smart contracts on top, but in the core, creating new abilities that are unique to Divi and very flexible and utilizable at the core level. We can't do them with masternodes in the way. And so what we really want to do is be able to get the value that we had from masternodes, which was running a node, securing the network, all of those things, but get them out of the way so that we can progress on our blockchain and provide new features that are compatible with the core blockchain functionality itself. So we want to still allow people to get rewarded, still secure the network through running a node, all of those features. But we're going to do that through vaults. So we're going to migrate and improve the system by migrating the masternodes over to vaults. And the vaults give you more flexibility. So it gives you more flexibility because you don't need this certain number to run them. You can run a vault with 1,000 Divi or 10 million Divi. Doesn't really, that part doesn't matter. With vaults, you can run one for free on your own. I've written instructions on how to do that. We're bringing vaults to desktop, and you can have basically hire Divi to help you manage your vault. And there's a subscription service for doing that. So there's still a lot of, or you can stake the way you've been staking on the desktop in the past if you want to. So by doing this, we still remain maintaining the flexibility that we have, and the masternodes get migrated to vaults. And we're going to go, later we're going to go through that so that we can improve and provide more benefits and more features at the core level that will provide more utility for our chain. So we don't have a date for this yet. But there will be in the coming months. We'll see a change on the desktop. We'll see vaults showing up there, and then we're going to see a revamp where there will not be masternodes, and on that day, the people who had masternodes or before had masternodes will be running vaults one way or another, or staking directly on their laptops. And that's basically the plan going forward. We are repeating this a lot because the message is finding its way to some people and not to others and so forth. So tell a friend. But that's basically the plan going forward. But I don't have a timeline for it. Some things in our progress need to happen before we can get to this point. But we're just starting to let people know that this is the plan going forward. Oh, there's voice. Do you want to smooth over anything I said?
Not sure how much he heard, but I did invite him to be a speaker.
Okay. There he is.
Voice, you're up.
He's muted. soon he will unmute. Or not.
Yeah, I think it covered the main aspects.
Sorry.
So if there's any questions, then Voice, you can take up the questions later on.
I'm here now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah,
you now.
Yeah. I was deep into something, and then all of a sudden, you know, I have to be honest with you. We are a community that works together. It was Jim Flanagan who messaged me, and it pops up on my screen. I'm here. So I didn't hear what you. Sorry, I wasn't here this minute. So
I'm crying.
yeah, I was rude of me. Of course, I'll hang out when you guys are finished, and then people can ask if they have any.
Awesome.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes we'll get to the end.
Yep.
Or hopefully before then.
I'll mute myself, or I'll make this last for 2 hours. So hold on one second.
Okay. I guess I'm going to continue blathering. So we're going to talk about the DAO for probably a minute. So the DAO, and if you don't know, as I mentioned about masternodes, that was going to be a form of governance. The DAO is going forward going to be our form of governance. If you have not joined, please do. There is a channel on our server called the Divi DAO or Divi DAO, and in there you'll see different threads for the different proposals. We just started voting the second one for the second proposal, so what happened was on our first one, we just said, you know, we're voting on here's the plan going forward, but it's extremely high level, which was you need one eDivi at least, and you're going to need an NFT for, a specialized NFT for voting and another one for proposing. And then and we just voted on that, and that passed. So that's going to be the mechanism by which the DAO operates. But now we need to drill down on the details. And so there's going to be a few votes drilling down on the details. This vote was about how NFTs are acquired. So there's two ways. The first way and also it talks about the power of the NFTs. One of the things that we're losing from the masternodes is this kind of like gamification where the more you put into, as you get to higher tier masternodes, you get more returns relative to a copper. So we're kind of implementing that with the DAO. So on vaults, you'll see that you still have copper, silver, gold, platinum kind of stuff. And for the Divi DAO, what we're going to do is we're going to take those same levels and increase the voting power by 5% per level. So that means platinum doesn't, which is I think in this model is something like 50 times more Divi than a copper. I think, is that right? 10 million. Yeah, I think it's 50. It's 50 times more. You don't get 50 times the vote, but you do. I think it's 20% more votes. I don't remember the details. I'm not looking at it right now. But so the idea is in this vote, what we're voting for is that the more Divi that you have, you get a slight advantage in voting, and so you'll get a different NFT for each level, and then for proposing, you're capable of proposing larger and larger, making larger and larger proposals. So like if I want to make a proposal for making a Divi-based NFT thing. I'm not really good at that, so if I want to do some like CryptoKitty type thing with Divi, I might make a proposal and it might fund it, or I might make a proposal for bringing Divi into a certain store. I'm not sure. So there'll be costs to these proposals. And the proposal, you'll define what you're doing in the proposal and how much it will cost, and then the DAO members will vote on it, and the DAO funds upon approval would be directed to it. So the proposal NFTs will allow you to propose larger and larger, make larger and larger proposals based on the NFT that you have. It's far better described in the text than I can do here in a minute or two. Anyway, if you join the DAO, which are there instructions inside the channel, You need one Divi. Right now, all you need is one Divi, eDivi, to join the DAO, and then you go to this website and you can vote on things. That said, this vote is already up, and joining the DAO will only help you for the next vote. This vote right now, if you already joined the DAO, you can vote on it right now. And the voting will be over this Sunday. And of course, we'll let you know how it goes. And then we'll have another one that starts the next Sunday. So that's the DAO. Later, happy to take questions on the DAO. And I guess I'm up one more time. So I'm just going to talk again. So the next subject here is wallet. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. We can finish that, and then I can jump onto the other bits.
The next subject here is wallet product updates. I think we talk about some of our frustration right now with getting the on-ramps going. I think it's pretty loud, like a sore thumb. Right now, we're having trouble with our provider on this one. And the issue is that, and it sounds simple, and it is simple, in that the flow that we prefer inside our wallet, requires a button to behave properly. And what's happening right now in the wallet, the beta testers can all attest to this, is you go through a purchase, and then there's this last confirming button, and it doesn't take you back to the wallet. It takes you to their website, and it's not useful. It breaks our flow, and so that doesn't work for us. But we're using their standard widget, which is what should have made this easy and should have made this done quickly. But now we've got this problem that their standard widget needs modification for us to be able to get the flow inside the wallet to work properly. So we've been doing this, and then the problem now is the Simplex office is closed for Passover holidays until the end of next week, and so forth. So now we're just waiting. It's like a drawbridge, and we're waiting for the drawbridge to go down. It's not a hard thing. It's just things are continually in our way to getting this done. We're frustrated. We know everybody's frustrated. We're going to get this. We're definitely going to get this done. The thing is, the stuff that we're responsible for is complete. The beta testers have them, and we just don't feel comfortable releasing this because the flow isn't right. It's not the product that we want to release. So that said, we're looking into having an open beta, so that if you really want this feature, you can join the beta. You'll know that it has this poor flow inside of it, but you can still buy Divi through the ramp, and we just can't fix it until Simplex does something on their end. They didn't even inform us about the Passover holidays closing the offices. Like, we had to call them and say, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "We're closed." So we've had a lot of trouble with this. It seems ridiculous. But anyway, so all we can do right now is wait for their offices to open, get this widget fixed, and then we can move on. And until then, we're going to try to do this open beta. If you really want this feature, you can join the open beta. While we're waiting for that, we're not twiddling our thumbs. We are attacking the bug list. We're improving the wallet. We are responding to the beta testers' output. So it's not like we're not waiting around for that. It's just we can't move forward on that until that's done on their side. So that's that, and that's really the issue. I can't describe any more of it. I don't think I have any. There isn't much more to say. Other than that, the improvements are happening really at the hitting the bug list right now. And with that, we have something more positive and more encouraging coming, and that's something I think Renuk, you were going to talk about the
Absolutely. Yeah, so we kind of touched upon this in the last week's spaces. When we talked about our roadmap, what's coming up, and one of the key things we talked about is obviously all these features and things that we are working towards, that we take you on a journey with us, so you understand exactly what it is, how it benefits you, and how best to then obviously invest your money, and work your assets with Divi. So one of the key things that's always been for us is about making things easy, right? So making crypto easy, now going into blockchain and Web3 side of things, about making that easy. So, so our focus is kind of helping you with that. So this is where this kind of Let's Learn series come in. So the idea is that across all of our Divi sites, so that's project, wallet, and labs, we will kind of start this series talking about all of the things that are in our roadmap, and how it's going to help people, like individuals, so you guys, as well as also businesses, so people who might want to work with us in the future. So that's also going to affect all of you as well. So what we've done is, obviously we've had a few conversations outside of the roadmap as well with all of you in our community forums. So there's been loads of questions from that, and also we've done a bit more industry research and some of the insights we got from that. So all of that kind of formed all of these kind of content series. It's going to be run by various members of the team, whoever's got the right skill set to talk about things. And if you've got any questions, or if you want any other areas that to cover, or say, hey, what else is coming up, just get in touch with us in our social channels. And also, maybe you might want to actually write something, because you might say, actually, I've got a lot of experience in this area. Get in touch with us as well. We'd love to work with you too. And it's always been a community-led project, and we want it to stay like that. So the first one we're going to start with is going to be around Web3, because obviously a lot of people have been talking about it. You've probably seen it in lots of places. So that's something we want to tackle head on from the get-go. And then from there, we'll start that from the Divi Lab side of things, and then work across every other feature within the roadmap as well. So yeah, exciting times, and definitely positive, more positive outlook on that. So keep an eye out.
Cool.
I was just going to add. Let me just add one thing, just for some color and context, because I think that's sometimes a question. We have two repo types. We have a public repo type and a private repo type. And certain things, as we all know, are is knowledge that is Divi Labs, right? Mochi is one of those things, the flow on how that's done. So like the desktop has a public repo, but then there's a private repo. And so you can't really see all the things that are going on. So we give some color to what the magnitude of work is in the last month. So from March 7th until today, in the Divi mobile wallet repo, there's been 872 commits. It's about 9,000 additions and 9,000 deletions. So the magnitude of the work that's going on over the last 3 months or so is huge. They are working hard. If I get approval after I have this image, I'll share this image with everyone. It's pretty massive, the amount of work the mobile devs are doing. I just wanted to give that for some color. It's a lot.
Cool. I wanted to mention one more thing that I caught in the in one of the channels in Discord, was some frustration about our pairs and our exchange pairs, and I just wanted to relate that we also would much rather be on more exchanges and have more pairings, and I think I mentioned there that we are our only Bitcoin pair. I know this is a little out of the left field, but I just wanted to get this in this one spaces. Our only other pairing with Bitcoin is on BitTrue, and we're always looking for getting into better exchanges with more liquidity and so forth. But BitTrue doesn't seem to be an exchange that we as a community favor very much. There's very little volume on it, and so it's been difficult to really justify putting resources towards improving the liquidity there, in terms of market making, which is has two costs. One is hire a market maker, and the other is we generally have to provide the liquidity for it. And so,
and they don't allow U.S. participation. Let's just be clear about that.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
no new U.S. participation for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I used to do the tutorials on them. So
yeah, actually, I forgot that
us
part.
as a community.
Yeah, so there's,
so even if it were good,
right? There's all these issues with BitTrue. So we're really trying to consolidate our coin supply from exchanges that are inadequate for our purposes, so that we can progress through this process for multiple better exchanges. And I think we'll see them coming forward. Honestly, we have not mentioned the BitTrue. I would advise it to discuss. So anyway, that came up. I wanted to address that real quick. So anyway, we're looking towards bigger and better things. I am also of the opinion that more exchanges are better, but I'm of a greater opinion that better exchanges are better. So, and of course, that's harder work for us. The requirement to get onto other exchanges, not just financial, are very high, and we are working diligently to get there.
I think with that, that's the items that we wanted to hit on the agenda. So I think now would be a good time to see if anybody has any questions about anything that we've talked about. And while you guys are mustering up the courage to raise your hand, I am excited to it's something that we've talked about for a while, but I think moving forward, we are close to having these spaces end up on YouTube. The Voice and I have been working on kind of a process that can make these easily transferred and show up on YouTube, so that people can, listen in their preferred venue. So that's something that we are very close to. You probably see this space up on YouTube. I can't say when, but soon. And we all know how soon goes. But this is the goal is to get these out in a day or two, so that by the time next week's space happens, you've already seen this up on YouTube. But that's kind of my little pet project that I'm working on with Voice, and yeah, so excited to see that come to fruition. And we haven't had anybody raise their hand.
Oh, you must have been so clear. Even me with my fast talk.
Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, and also, as always, we encourage you guys to, keep asking us questions, keep pushing us. And if there's anything that's unclear, just, get in touch with our social channels, and, we'll be there. We should also actually, Ryan, we were talking about it some time back. Let's get back together on the metaverse as well, so we can, do like a little clinic type, can all talk to everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Divi World has kind of been pushed to the background for a little bit, but I think it's an excellent opportunity to get together. I know there's a couple of people in here that like to hang out there when there's anything going on. So yeah, I think we should definitely do that. All right.
Well, I'll hang out. I'll hang out if you guys want to stop the recording. If anybody wants to ask any questions, I'll be here, for a few minutes. If somebody wants to inquire about something they have any questions about, I'll hang out.
Well, that's actually not how it works. But if anybody wants to drop out, I will stick around with Voice, so that the way to stop the recording is to end the session. So,
Voice, you trapped him.
So you have to stay there.
Yeah. Well, I can spin one up myself. I can just go ahead and push the button on my phone here and do it. So
all right. Totally. Well, I'm gonna head out then. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, everybody. And have a great weekend. Easter. Have a good one. Anybody? Questions? I don't know that we have any questions, boys.
All right. Well, I was just being kind. I was late, so it's the courteous thing to do.
No, always. All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna. Oh, nope. We got one.
What's that?
The guy you were speaking to earlier.
About
it's my. He was like, make a joke, but I was going to say he's like my secretary.
I am your secretary.
He's not. He's not my secretary.
Yeah. So I think, Berg, we need to jump into Spatial. For some reason, Spatial did maybe some updates on some of the graphics in there. Like, I think I had to remove some things out of the main gallery room. Mainly the added stuff. So we might want to jump in there one of these days and kind of tune things up in there. But I would love to see some more faces in there. The obvious question I think that's on everybody's mind that I always bug you about the voice. Any expectations of a timeline for KuCoin coming back to us?
Well, KuCoin isn't. Well, I guess to answer that question, it's dependent upon the market maker, right? So the market maker is doing its due diligence right now, as was expressed on I think it was last week's or the week before the chat, where they're doing the opinion on Divi being a security or not, right? Which is about I think it's probably like the 7th or 8th time we've had to do this. So once that's complete, once they have that legal opinion on it, and it is actually active work that's going on right now, it will be immediately live. So there's no holding it back. It's just that the legal process has to be completed before they'll go ahead and approve that for the market maker in that region called the U.S. and North America to be open for us. So.
And the only reason I bring it up is obviously in Discord. That's kind of a big topic. When it's always when you can fill in the blanks to the question of when blank.
Yeah.
Right.
And well, you can't when you're speaking about third party or legal processes, right? Yeah. So if you can code it, you can hit enter and it's live. If you have to participate in giving details, information, history, all of that has to be legally vetted. And that's a process, as we know, that takes a little bit.
Gotcha. All right, again, I was just asking the obvious question where the answer I kind of already knew. Just throwing it out there for everyone to let people know to be patient. So thanks again. And Berg, just contact me if you want to jump in Spatial, and we can mess around and play around if you've got time.
Yeah, definitely. I'll hit you up.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, if that's it, then I think we'll wrap this up and we'll start working on getting this up on YouTube for everybody.
All right. So you let me know when this is closed, and I'll try to download it and see what we can do working together.
All right. Well, in about 3, 2, 1.